Okay. Can you put the game on my screen? I've just got the.
Yeah, sure. We're live. We're live.
We're live.
Hey everyone,
Guys.
we've just been saying hello and been welcoming you for the last 1 minute, only to realise that we're not live. But I think now we are live, fingers crossed.
I hope so, Dave. I hope you're right, mate. It's just gone. Let's have a look, see if people are chatting. I know you've seen the chat already, guys. Hello to everyone in the chat. FPL Hints, hello, mate. Big fan of Lewis Beaumorte, saw that in the chat.
Yeah.
Flapjack, I'm not drinking tonight, only water. So.
Yeah, I'm on the beers tonight. Well,
How was your?
I'm on the beer singular. Hopefully,
Fair enough. It's Easter, mate. It's a bank holiday. You can rest.
Exactly. Yes, Brad Lewandon. He can see us. Brad Lewandon. I think he was another Lewis Beaumorte owner. Hi, Nick. Nick Wright, Lewis Beaumorte, captainer.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Evening FPL James, Planet FPL James as well. Dick Wellington. Good, you can see us.
Did anyone cotton on yesterday, guys, as well? We put out a captaincy stat tweet, and we made sure we included Lewis Beaumorte. Did anyone notice that yesterday?
Yeah. We originally had a list of 7, but then we realised it was basically 7 who were above 1%. Lewis Beaumorte was 1.1%, and we realised that he was 8th on the list. So we thought, let's throw him in there. It's a nice bit of information. But that doesn't mean that the person who's bottom of the captain list every week is going to get 23 points.
No, got to make that clear as well. They're definitely right there.
Alex, with lots of X's, he did Bowyer to Lewis Beaumorte.
Oh,
very
sweet. Nice. So sweet. Yesterday when I was watching in the evening, I was having my dinner at the time, and I knew it was coming Lewis Beaumorte, and I was just like waiting for I knew Nick Wright had captained him. Yeah. I knew others had him. I knew Hescobo had him as well. I was just like, this is going to go crazy in a second. So
yeah, it was great. I was so happy. Lewis Beaumorte, he's in my zombie team as well. So
don't go on about your zombie team. Mate.
I was delighted. Yeah, I'm winning.
The one good thing for my zombie team, guess who had Titus Bramble?
Nice.
Yes.
Titus Bramble with a 70-yard goal. That was a great way to end the game week.
So good. And just seen James as well, Planet FPL in the house. Hi, James.
Nice.
Loving the stream. Guys, the stream on Saturdays, if you're not tuning into that, I don't know what you're doing. You're probably reading our tweets, but that's the place to be every Wednesday night, Saturday afternoon. So get on that.
Robin, Nash FIFA, FPL Badger, Luke Disable as well. Evening to all of you guys. Nice to see you.
Hello, guys. So just a brief overview of what we're doing today, tonight. So we're going to go and review game week 4, about what happened. Then we're going to go, Dave, you're going to go through some spreadsheet stuff and chat about new players as well. So as we speak, James is direct messaging new players.
Won't be very long on spreadsheet, so don't panic about that being too. That segment will be little.
Yeah, okay. Then we're going to do some league and player stats. I've got a new feature, which is brief thing. More of that later. When we look at transfers, other stuff that's been going on in the game, and then we'll do club by club with your questions at the end as well. So,
yeah.
Dave, what was your? I know you talked about Lewis Beaumorte. Any other highlights you got from game week 4?
Game week 4, should we get it up? So game week 4, so double game week. I thought for Charlton that was a bit of a it wasn't a washout if you had Ewell or Bartlett, to be fair, but no clean sheets for Charlton, and obviously Jason Wilcox, who is now the 4th most owned player in the game.
Yeah, I think
blanked.
I think Jason Wilcox is the one that hurt the most. I mean, Kinsella scored, Bartlett and Ewell got attacking returns. Rufus got the man of the match.
Yeah.
Kylie as well. So if you had Kylie and Wilcox, that's not great.
Kylie had a couple of poor games, didn't he, as well? He could have got clean sheets, I think, but yeah. So, I mean, Corrado Grabby, 2 more goals. That was pretty big. He's now the top goal scorer with 5 goals, and is he 5 or 5.5? I feel like
5 million.
He's 5 million. I feel so. I said to you guys, before the streams, I said that I feel like it's a wild card busting game week 4, because people like Beaumorte, Grabby, all of a sudden they look like players that you really almost need to have, or would probably want to have. So that was another interesting one for me. Derby getting lots of goals. Obviously, wouldn't worry too much about Man United flopping and losing 3-0. That's Man United is still
I
solid.
thought that was a shock result. I think you'd expect United to score. I wouldn't expect a Leeds clean sheet in that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Tottenham attackers is another one, another little storyline. I feel like because Tottenham are one of the best attacks on the game, basically, and they've been very quiet. Their defense is pretty poor, but attacking wise, they're very good, which is why they're so expensive.
Yeah.
But they're beginning to bang.
Can I just bring up on Tottenham as well, because I've looked at their next 5 fixtures, brilliant next 5 fixtures, and I know you got Sheringham and Ferdinand. They're a bit lower price, but I think someone like Everson or Rebrov is going to bang soon
Yeah.
with those fixtures. I think Rebrov comes back in. Everson is decent, and I think if one starts playing regularly, one of the strikers, they're going to score goals, and
Yeah.
that's such an uber differential.
Look at that. So they've got Bolton away, which is not a particularly hard game. Not great, but not terrible. But then they've got 4 home games in a row. One of them's Man United, but 4 home games in a row. Then Middlesbrough away, then Ipswich at home. Then they play Villa and Everton, who are poor. So there could be big goals there. I think you're right. I see Luke Disable saying he would like Rebrov. I wonder about Stefan Everson. He seems to be the one that's fairly consistent as well. Rebrov, I think, has a knock at the moment.
I think he
No, he's
could
back.
be back. Yeah, we'll go back later. But no one in the game owns Everson.
Really?
Yeah, I looked at that.
Wow. Price drop?
Half price sale, yeah. Half price.
I can see why. He's not a fashionable player and he's expensive, but I think he's a good pick. Or could be a good pick.
But then does Sheringham or Ferdinand drop out after their haul against?
I would be surprised if Ferdinand played again. I mean, he's very much a backup player, Les Ferdinand. He's old as well. So, yeah. Just as one thing to say, we've been doing the game week reviews and going in depth on each game. I'm just going to pop up as quick as I can. This is Whitebeard's website, which is whitebeard.top/CMFPL2. Now, Whitebeard has got the match screenshot. So this is a player data screen here, CMFPL players. Hopefully you know this website. Once again, whitebeard.top/CMFPL2. If you click on all match and tactic screenshots here, here's got a Google Doc. It's going to take a minute to load. Hopefully it doesn't lag the stream because there's a lot of images in it. But hopefully, fingers crossed, if you go in it should have all the in-depth stats now. So our aim is that all of the in-depth stats from matches will be up on Whitebeard's website. So we don't need to go as heavily in depth on the games. We can still talk about it, but our aim is that it will be up on Whitebeard's website. Let's see what he's got. So he's not got them up yet by the looks of it, but I think he's working on it. So I'll get rid of that in case it lags. So maybe we'll go over it just for tonight, fairly briefly. But basically, all of the stuff. Yeah, I can see it's affecting the stream a little bit. But all of the stuff. So let's say the Arsenal game will basically have this overview screenshot, the match stats screenshot, and the player stats from both sides, as well as the player ratings, will all go up on Whitebeard's website. So we don't need to go super in depth on it, Andy. But do you want to do a quick game by game on that, or should we just wait for that to go up on Whitebeard's and go from there? It's up to you.
Yeah, I think we do a quick game by game. Just go through it quickly. Just give people the screenshots.
Okay, we'll do a quick
briefly,
game by game.
Just the stats and stuff. So.
Okay, so Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. Andy, do jump in at any point if you've got anything you would want to add. Arsenal absolutely dominant in this game. 13 shots to Chelsea's 3. And we've got our man of the match ratings there. Oh, Scala says that if you scroll to the right on Whitebeard's website, then it is there. So what do you think? Should we do a really quick run through and of just maybe the...
Yeah, just do it really quickly. Yeah,
we'll just do a really quick run through. But if you go to Whitebeard's website, it's all there, so you can leisurely look at it in your own time. So Blackburn 5, Villa 2. Blackburn massively on top in this. 20 shots to Villa's 3. Could have been more, probably. And Two Guy is emerging as a potential player. What do you think of Two Guy?
A big fan of Two Guy. I saw Nash FIFA as well in the chat saying he's thinking about getting Two Guy.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, he creates chances, even though he's like a defensive mid.
Yeah.
Two guys, someone that can get an assist, takes free kicks, looking sharp. He seems to get lots of space. If Blackburn play that formation of like the three up top,
Yeah.
he seems to have a lot of space and be able to do some stuff which he's capable of as well. So
Yeah.
I think two guys are a great pick. And we did price him quite high, which
Is he seven
is
and a half?
7.5, I believe. But yeah, it's still a decent price for someone like two guys. And Blackburn are pretty
Four
decent. So.
assists, 4 in 4 games. That's good. Lots of bonus points as well. Charlton Middlesbrough briefly. Charlton dominated that game there. You can see 11 shots to Borough's 8, and most of Charlton's shots were on target. But Mark Crossley had a good game, and those double game weekers who had Jason Newell got 3 bonus points there, which is nice. Derby 4, Ipswich 2.
And Schwarzer misses game week 5 as well. Schwarzer's game week 5. He's gone to play for Australia, right?
That's right. Schwarzer is out for game week 5 anyway, so Crossley's definitely nailed on for the next game week at least.
Crossley's, yeah.
Derby 4, Ipswich 2. They were totally dead even. 11 shots each. Both had 7 on target. Not too many fancy assets there, so we won't linger on that one. Leeds 3, United 0. Now this was a big game.
Yeah.
Can see there that Leeds...
Shocking result, and Leeds quality.
So. Yeah, Leeds fan there, Andy, so happy. So there's the main match stats. Seen the player rates. Obviously, Stephen McPhail had a good game. Don't know if anyone else saw, we retweeted it, but Alan Mabry did send us a tweet on the back of this game, commenting on it, saying that there's no bug in the game and that this game is obviously reflecting on what his career should have been like. So nice to get a tweet there.
It was quite hard to see as well. Hard to see that because it felt like he still holds some hurt from not having a career that he should have. So
yeah, that's true. If anyone can get any more tweets from footballers, that would be great. We should do a prize for whoever can get the best tweet from a footballer about CMFPL can get the best prize. Liverpool 2,
Indeed.
Bolton 1. Liverpool were absolutely all over Bolton in this game, I believe. 11 shots to 4. And move on from them. Biscam with a goal there. Sunderland 1, Spurs 4. An early red card for Stefan Schwartz.
Crazy red card as well.
Yeah, crazy red card from the captain. And his place could potentially be coming under threat. We'll talk more about that later. And you can see this. See what I did there? And yeah, the Spurs attack is just banging basically. 21 shots for Spurs. And 10 for Sunderland's actually not bad against 10 men, to be fair.
I've been so shocked by Sunderland's start. I rate them as a team. Like, there's some good assets in there. Arca, for one, he's going to kick on sometime. I just don't know when it's going to happen. So
I feel like Sunderland are a bit of a void at the moment because they're a good team, but they're on terrible form. I would be careful with Sunderland personally. Arca's not a bad shout though. Craig Bellamy off the bench to inspire Newcastle to a win, 2-1. And they were slightly the better team. It was fairly close, but pretty much on top there.
Sunday game as well.
Leicester Everton, JB McAnuff man of the match. Everton are another team. Look at that, 3 shots in the whole match. I feel like, I would avoid Everton too.
Yeah. There's no one at Everton.
That's terrible. Leicester, on the other hand, look decent. Delaney and Elliott are hoovering up bonus points. Flapjack saying, did Kerr go to Sunderland?
Wait and see. Don't
maybe. Yes, maybe not. Fulham 4-1, and it really was a game of 2 halves. So basically, the first half commentary was all Southampton. They were dominant. And then in the second half, Fulham, it was all Fulham. So don't know what changed at half time, but they absolutely smashed them second half. Sort of returned to what you'd expect it to be like. And then the game of the double game week, was Charlton-Bolton. Charlton edged that game, but only managed a 1-1. And again, I did put it in the commentary, but basically after Charlton took the lead, they sat back and tried to defend the lead. And obviously that did not work particularly well for them. And Bolton equalised, and that was that really. Richard Rufus with a 9 to bail out. I know James Plant FPL had got Richard Rufus in. feel like that's a nice little 3 bonus points there for anyone that bought in. Andy Norfolk says Stolz's doing nothing. He is doing nothing so far, Stolz's. So that's the game week just gone.
Yeah.
Um,
Dave, do you want to talk about the spreadsheet quickly? Just
yeah.
because I know people on wildcard, so I just want to go through that, how they get off it, really.
Yeah, good one. So you've already mentioned about new players. Basically, if you signed up Wednesday night or before, James is getting those spreadsheets out to you tonight, hopefully. We had a bit of a delay on that. That's going to happen from time to time because we're busy. If you need information about how to work the sheet, then watch the stream that me and Andy did before game week 1 because it has everything that you need to know about how the sheet works. So we won't go over that again. For players who are new players, just to say, they're going to be coming in on, I think it was 148 points. Is that?
Yeah, that's correct.
Right?
It was 37 a week that James did it at, and that was like the minimum points the last person's on or something.
So they're basically coming in, I think, at the bottom of the active players, which means they're above you, Andy, because you're not an active player. So Andy's just lost 200 spots. But yeah, 37 points a week, so everyone should be way ahead of them. They're about 150 points off the lead, but it means that they can at least get involved. And yeah, in terms of if you are an active player and you have played a wild card, what you need to do is unplay it. So if you played any chip, in fact, free hit, wild card, any of those, you need to unplay it the following game week. So it doesn't automatically unplay itself, but you do need to make sure you do that. So on your spreadsheet, when you get it up, where you select the chip, if you just unselect it with the little dash line, then that will get rid of it. And if you've done a free hit, I saw someone in the chat had done a successful free hit. If you've already done a free hit, then basically you need to revert.
Hints, I think, was it?
Was it? Okay. So you need to he or anyone else needs to revert their team back to the week before. So it will show you in FPL, if you played your free hit in game week 4, automatically in 5 you'll go back to your game week 3 team. In our game, when you get to game week 5, you have to manually select your game week 3 team again. And that will be shown to you on the side of the screen. It sounds complicated. Just reselect the team you had before your free hit and you'll be fine.
Dave, are you able to get the game up on my screen here? Sorry.
It's on the in the spreadsheet?
No, on my screen that I'm looking
can you not see the game?
No.
Let me quickly share it with you. Fingers crossed.
Okay, no worries. Cheers.
Okay, there you go.
Cheers,
mate. Nice, mate. One thing I was also going to quickly shout out was just a few people in the community who have been putting together excellent content. I definitely will have missed out some people. You've already mentioned Planet FPL doing their streams, which are quality. I can't always catch up with those live, but I love listening back to them. Today I was building a shed, and I was listening to yesterday's action while building the shed. Even though I know what happens, it was great entertainment.
It's so good. Yeah, I love it.
It's so good. Yeah, James is doing a brilliant job with those. Whitebeard, we've already talked about as well. He's doing a fantastic job. So thank you to Whitebeard, as is Rob Pick with the Scout account. Dougal put out a new pod last week, so FPL Dougal, go and give that a listen. The Wolf Pod, they did one last week. They'll have another one tomorrow. They've got
Oi,
Wolf Pod. Can I say? Am I allowed to say that? Even though
I don't think you're not the Wolf Pack, mate.
Oh, so. Sorry. Hello, Wolf Pod. So they've got one with Luke to Sable tomorrow, which I'm really looking forward to. Luke and Andy put up a video on Fantasy Football Scout today, which is a bit of a focused mostly on intro for new players. So if you're starting the game, you might want to give that a listen if you're wildcard in. One that you might not have picked up on, a not very well followed account. So FPL Dempsey, or Dempsey FPL, who's another good one to check out, actually. He's putting out some good stuff. He flagged this one up. It's at Fanta0, as in the word 0, and then the number 44. So at Fanta044. He's putting out some good stuff. Go and check that out. And Rob Chetty as well is putting out some nice stuff. FPL Panda. So that was just a few. This game's all about community, really. It feels like we really want the community to be at
exactly right. Yeah.
So we just want to flag up those people. We'll give you lots of information, but those guys are giving great content and actually sort of using the information to tell you what to do with it, I suppose.
And the more info we have, the more interesting it is for us to do like research and the community side of it. So we're loving it, guys. So.
And hopefully by providing Whitebeard with all those screenshots that you can put up on his website, hopefully that helps everyone that's making content and all of you playing the game to get into it all the more.
Yeah.
Quick shout as well, community-wise. Team of the week is Late Riser, who's a fairly well-known user, and AKFPL, who are co-managing the team. They scored 95 this week, which is very impressive, and they fly up to 28th in the league. So well played to you two, co-managing your team. And top of the league now is Heartbreak Kid, which is run by @ChowBCK. So fair play to you, ChowBCK.
Yeah, he's been top 10 all season. So
yeah, he was
consistent.
He's been high, hasn't he? So he's doing well. Right, that's spreadsheets, community stuff, new players done. Should we move on to league and player stats?
Yeah, let's have a look at some player stats, league stats. I like to look at team of the week. I know it doesn't mean much on the game,
Cool.
but just have a look at that as well.
Just a quick look at the table because I forgot to upload it so far. That's where we're at. Table-wise, still very early days. Leeds ahead of Arsenal.
Top of the league.
Top of the league. Joint top.
Love to see it.
With Arsenal, Blackburn, and Man United. And then down the bottom, teams struggling. Sunderland, Southampton, West Ham now on a poor run, I would say. And Everton beginning to get sucked in there. So, should we look at the player stats? If you talk through this, Andy, I feel like this is the stuff that you...
Yeah, have a look at go to player stats first of all.
Yep.
Let's have a look at player stats. Just click on goals. Have a look at goals. I think Grabby's obviously going to be top for goals scored. Yeah. So Grabby is top with 5. Lewis Morte with 4, and then a lot of 3. Or Whelan's on 3, and then a lot follow that. Assists wise.
No, Whelan's injured now, just to say. So.
Of course. Okay. Look at that from Guy. Class player.
Yeah.
And that's consistent. It's not like, I mean, Beckham and Gordon have had one good game, but 2 guys doing it every game at the moment, seems like. So.
Yeah. Dean Gordon, another zombie team legend for me. So going nicely. Sorry, I won't keep talking about it.
enough chat on zombie team. Yeah. I mean, I've got Nicholas Alexanderson for some reason in my team, which I don't understand.
Someone has to. It's nice. I put him in the game, so it's nice that someone's actually bought him.
I haven't even got a keeper. I've not had a keeper all season. I've got Neil Sullivan for some reason.
He might.
Anyway, let's click on average rating.
Yeah.
See that. Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay.
On show 1 game, isn't it, as well? So.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, mate. This is a bit of a weird one. Tackles per game, not a particularly relevant one, but if you look here, 5th in tackles per game is Casey Keller.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's crazy.
I've never really seen that ever before. Luke Disable's in the chat. I'd be interested to know what his perspective on that is, that he's so high. Just say Whitebeard's in the chat. Whitebeard, thank you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, mate. Brilliant. Honestly, so good.
I did have a little look at this Casey Keller thing because they've only played 3 games and he's got a massive amount. In this Leeds game, he made 11 tackles. He won 9 of them, 7 of which were key tackles, which I think means that he's making a lot of one-on-one saves. He got explains his 10 out of 10 rating. But I think it means he's making a lot of one-on-one saves, is my guess. Which means that playing against Tottenham could be good to target them if you've got strikers, if they're going to get one-on-one chances. I might have put 2 and 2 together and got 41 there, but...
just want to point out something in the chat, because I was going to do this anyway, but Scala Vijoin, I hope I pronounced that right, he says, maybe referee stats too would be good. Nice to have a warning when Uriah Rennie is doing a game.
Whoa!
And that's something I actually was going to click on, because Uriah Rennie is always harsh and always card happy in the game.
Yeah.
So I was going to do a Uriah Rennie ref watch to kind of preempt what game he's going to ref, because if you click on like yellow cards on that tab there for refs,
I think he's not had many games yet, Uriah Rennie.
Maybe 1 game.
2 games, but he's handed out 2 reds and 5 yellows in those.
Exactly right. He, for some reason, in every sim I've done, he's always like near the top. He does less games than other refs because they don't really want him reffing games because he's terrible. And he is someone that's always harsh. I don't know if harsh is worse than strict, but he's always someone that gets card happy.
He's the only one that's harsh out of all of them, which I reckon means he's worse.
Yeah, okay, so harsh is the harshest ref. So I'm going to do a Uriah Rennie ref watch on the day before, or on game day. So we'll look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that. And that's weird that Scala was calling it out as well. Great
Yes,
minds think
yeah,
alike.
exactly right. Any more player stats? Anything else you want to see in player stats? Anyone else in the chat want to see anything? I mean, like pass completion, tackles per game, dribbles per
I'll just have a
game.
quick look. Pass completion. I mean, that's just defenders mostly. Matt Jansen's high up
Yeah.
there, but don't think these are. I mean, tackles per game. That's going to get you bonus, isn't it? So Southgate, Lindevarm, Hendry, Riggott, Casey Keller, like I say, Dabazas. Some popular names. Well, not very popular names actually, but
I
Dabazas is a
mean,
popular one.
yes. I mean, the names there are proper men that like to get stuck in and like love a tackle. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
By contrast, if you go down the bottom.
And also love a booking.
Yeah. Should we move on to the next little bit? So should we look at UEFA, the European games quickly?
Yeah, just click on the UEFA
Yeah.
games. Yeah, we
So I
clicked
thought
on.
quick. I thought very, very quickly. I'll just go over the Champions Cup games actually, just to show you. I know we tweeted them out, but just to see Liverpool, Real Madrid. Liverpool had an even game there. Red card for Smeetser. Not much to report. Man United, Parma in the Champions League, 2-0 to Man United. Man United absolutely dominated them. And assists for Beckham and Veron there. And just say this is a good Parma team. It's got Cannavaro, Nakata, like lots of good players. So good result for Man United. And Arsenal lost to Dortmund. That must have been the day before. Arsenal lost to Dortmund in a pretty even game, and Lauren got injured in that game. So we'll do that in the squad. So a lot of yellow cards there for Arsenal.
Yeah.
UEFA
Cool.
Cup.
That's cool.
4 teams also in action in the UEFA Cup. So you don't know these results yet. So I suspect that you are on the edge of your seats.
Indeed, it does affect things.
Chelsea 1, Hertha Berlin 2. Marcel Desailly sent off after 4 minutes in that game. Gallas subbed after 31 minutes. That's quite relevant, I would suggest. And Jimmy Floyd
Why is Gallus? That's the second time that Ranieri's done that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he's injured or anything. He's not injured. He bought a Melchiot, which suggests not a change of shape or anything. And Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank sacrificed after 4 minutes for Albert Ferrer. So, yeah.
I mean, that was for the red card, though. I mean, that's a.
Yeah. Still interesting that he was sacrificed over Good Johnson, though, I think, potentially.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah.
Newcastle had an easy tie against Avenir Began of Luxembourg, and they won 6-1. Alan Shearer scoring 4 goals. Ami Obi and Kieran Dyer also on the score sheet, so that is good news, I would suggest, for Alan Shearer owners. Assists for Bellamy, Dyer, and 2 for Norberto Solano, who gets 10 out of 10 as well. Aldino Medina, the scorer for Avenir Began. Leeds 2. Oh, someone said, where on earth is Stanic? Stanic played in that Chelsea game. I saw him. He got subbed on 78 minutes. He came off. So Stanic did play. You can always go back and freeze and pause if you really want to go through it detail by detail. Alan Mabry having the career that he was meant to have there. 9 out of 10.
Tweet that.
Someone get a tweet out to Alan Mabry. He scored 9 out of 10. And Leeds won 2-1. Robbie Keane and Mark Viduka starting up front. Gary Kelly playing the game after coming off injured at the weekend. Radaby with a poor performance there on 5 is quite interesting.
Paul Robinson playing as well.
Paul Robinson is playing in goal. Good spot, yes. They sometimes can rotate a little bit in sort of around European games and cup competitions and Champions League games as well. Sometimes they rotate around them, but I'm surprised to see Robinson starting there. Did Martin have a poor game at the weekend? No, he didn't. They played Man United and he played really well. Don't know what's going on there.
That's strange. I mean, I don't mind the pick of going for both Leeds keepers. I know it's quite a bit of money, but if you, it's awkward. But
yeah, 2 assists for Mabry could be a good out of position option if he keeps his place at 4.5. He'd be a great out of position option. And there's one other team, Ipswich. He played Tilligul of Moldova, and they won 4-1 with goals from John McGreal, Jim Magilton, Pablo, and Matt Holland. That is a little bit of a rotated team there as well, I think. There's some Ashley Nichols, he never plays.
Chris Hogg from somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bit of a different sort of a team. So Disable in the chat saying they rotate outside of league. Many teams do in other comps. So obviously Ipswich 31 shots on goal. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. They only managed to score 4 though.
Gutted to concede that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They were losing. They were losing after 6 minutes. But they came back. And then assists for Clapham and Thomas Gardso with another assist. He's had at least one in the league. Right, that's Europe.
Yeah, I mean, Luke Disable in the chat saying teams do rotate. And I guess, like, UEFA Cup first round against easy teams, you get to rotate as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
good chance for that.
Yeah.
League Cup draw.
League Cup draw. Brighton Walsall. So we have a whole bunch of games. I'm just going to quickly flick the plug on my laptop, Andy. Do you want to talk through who's playing who from the Prem? Just pick them out.
Yeah, I mean, first time seeing this tie as well. So West Ham have got home draw against Bristol Rovers, quite an easy draw there. So looking down, Middlesbrough at home to Tranmere, another pretty easy tie for Middlesbrough. I mean, this doesn't include the European teams, so the European teams will come in on the third round. Not any other Prem teams I can say. Everton away to Peterborough. Peterborough are okay in this game. Everton aren't that great, so it's not easy.
Oops. Middlesbrough Tranmere.
Middlesbrough Tranmere, I said that, yeah. Said that. It's quite an easy draw for Middlesbrough. Any Prem against Prem? Haven't seen it yet.
No
Sunderland away to Preston's quite a tough one. Preston are not too bad in this game.
Yeah, Sunderland are struggling.
Blackburn away to Exeter. You'd expect Blackburn to get through that. Southampton likewise at home to Oxford. Tottenham easy draw against Wickham. Anyone I've missed there at all? It's quite easy draw.
Charlton away at Oldham. Leicester away at Swindon. Basically, these games are all going to take place after game week 5. And there's also a full round of Champions League games. So after game week 5, there could be some potential injuries or poor condition players.
Isn't after game week 6, no?
I think it's after game week 5. So this takes place Wednesday, the 19th of September.
Oh, it is then. It is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's after this game week then, yeah.
So be prepared for some potential injuries. Right, should we move on to club by club?
Yeah, we'll keep you informed. Yeah, do you want to? People are like dying to know this big signing. Should we announce it now, or do you want to wait? Till we get to their club.
Let's wait till we get to their club.
Okay, guys, have you got any questions as well about club by club? Anyone who wants to see? We've got to sort by morale.
Yeah, and we'll go through an alphabetical order as well. So if we're on Arsenal, do ask about Aston Villa, Blackburn in advance so that we can go through them in that way. Sorry, Andy, I jumped in on you there.
No. Yeah, fine. No problem.
So yeah, we'll sort by morale and condition where relevant. So it's probably most relevant to see who's low morale, I would guess. Obviously, Henry, Pires, they're superb, which is good news, and Jeffers.
Yeah, and guys, just to mention as well, like this is just before kickoff for game week 5. So this is like condition will be up to date for kickoff, basically.
Yeah, exactly. We're ready to kick off.
Yeah. So if you look at the date in the top left-hand corner, you see Saturday. Yeah.
Lauren is a new injury. He is out for 10 days with a stubbed toe from the Dortmund game. So that means he will miss Leicester, he'll miss West Ham, and then he should be back for Southampton. So he will miss 2 games, Lauren. There was no one particularly else there. Tony Adams also, he's out for 2 weeks at the moment as well. So slightly strange. I would expect Luzhny to come in at right back with Dixon still not 100%.
Is Dixon 90% now?
He is 90% Dixon, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So there's Arsenal. Wiltor's still unhappy. And we'll just do sort by condition really quickly because they've had a Champions League game. So Van Bronckhorst is down there on 92%. Seaman 96%. Someone pointed out actually that in the Dortmund game, David Seaman scored a 5. So potential question marks over Richard Wright maybe comes in.
Mm-hmm. Someone's saying who will come in for Adams, but I guess it's going to be Keown and Campbell. Should be really.
I would expect that. Yeah, Keown at centre back and Lauren at right back. Keown's not on great form, but
Just with Edu as well. I mean, Edu could come in. He's still is he nearly fit, Edu?
Nah, he's still in trouble there.
Oh, fine. Okay, no worries.
So
Yeah,
34%, 2 months out.
yeah, no
Right,
worries.
move on to Villa. Do give me a shout though if anyone's got
Yeah,
anything
and
in the chat.
someone's asking about Blackburn, so I'll get to that in a second.
Okay, cool. Villa, not a lot to report, I don't think, at Villa. Everyone looks fine and well in the Villa squad. So we'll just do a quick sort by morale just to see if there's any headlines there. Boateng doing very well in morale. Schmeichel only okay. Angel and Balaban both only okay. Schmeichel, 3-match English ban. So he got a 3. I don't know how they work it out, but
Got to sell. Got to sell.
yeah. So he is available for this game, but then I believe his suspension starts on the 22nd. So he will be available for Sunderland, and will miss Liverpool, Leeds, and Leicester. So you're going to need a backup at least for that, and it'll be Peter Enkelman coming in there for him. Someone's asked about what's going on with GVB. I just saw at Arsenal. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. I don't know.
Just a bit unfit, wasn't he? At 92% or something. So
Yeah, I presume he played in Europe. Can check that really quickly for you. Yeah, he played in Europe, so I think he will become a decent pick, but he's looking a bit unreliable at 8 million. Right, Blackburn Rovers. So there's a few little bits and pieces here. Keith Gillespie has gone out on loan. I know there's some people hearing Keith Gillespie at 4.5. He's gone to Norwich, and he will be there until the 28th of September.
I think James from Planet FPL actually had Gillespie. I know he wants to sell him anyway, but
yeah, that's a short loan, isn't it?
Someone was asking about Bent as well, but
Bent. So Corrado Grabby just says he's unhappy, but he's got very good morale. Bent, where is Bent? There he is. Good morale. He's looking good. 2 goals in 3 starts. Lucas Neal is on international duty this week. So just be aware of that. Lucas Neal on international duty. And they've got a few players returning to fitness, I believe, but no one particularly significant. So
do you want to just check transfers as well on teams?
Yeah, sure. I think I'm pretty covered on transfers actually.
Okay, fine. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No worries.
So I will leave that for the stream. Right. Bolton. So Simon Charlton, who was my call from last week, he got an assist. Nailed on at 4.5. Again, not much to report there. Kevin Nolan's in quite a few teams. His is just okay, so that's one to monitor.
Condition for that? I mean, there's not many.
I doubt that these guys will be struggling for condition because they haven't had any midweek games, although they are not looking brilliant, are they? Simon Charlton.
They did play Wednesday against Charlton, didn't they?
Of course they did. Good shout, mate. Yeah, well done. 81% there, Simon Charlton. So I would expect him not to play potentially this week. Not that anyone probably took my advice and bought him, but he may not play. Charlton, straight in with condition there. Kinsella at 92%. I think if you're 90% or above, you probably should be all right. Is that fair to say?
I'd say that's pretty fair. Even if you're 90% and got like a week of injury, like training,
yeah,
you should play.
So Scotty Parker, he didn't play this week. He picked up an injury during the game week, I believe, because he wasn't injured before the game week. So he's a bruised rib in this game. It's just like a few days injury. So I think that Scotty Parker picked up an injury. Didn't play the first game, then picked up an injury, I would suggest, which is why he didn't play the second game. So he could come into play potentially. Probably not. Well, maybe this game, but maybe the one after.
Yeah. No transfers for Charlton.
No transfers for Charlton. Interesting one. Wonder what your thoughts are on what people should do with Charlton assets now, because they've got Chelsea away, Newcastle home, Everton away. That's easy-ish in this game, but Charlton are bad. Man United away, Arsenal home. They've got a terrible run of fixtures. Tons of people have now got Charlton players. Be interesting to know if people can put in the chat what you're doing with your Charlton players. I would be
I think a
interested.
lot have got 3 as well, haven't they? A
Yeah,
lot
I'd be
went.
interested to know. Klaus Jensen's coming back in 3 weeks. He's a good player. He's 90%, but still got 3 weeks to go. But what do you think, Andy? Should people do with their Charlton players, especially like the attack? Well, anyone really.
I mean, I think in regards to maybe like Jason Newell or Bartlett, I think that's a fine to have as third striker. Someone like Kylie, I can't see getting a clean sheet with those fixtures. Likewise with someone like Rufus. Kinsella can be just a bench person. I would say if you've got Charlton defensive assets, get rid before the attacking ones because Newell can chip in with a goal anytime. Newell or Bartlett can get a goal like 1 in 3, 1 in 4, even regardless of fixtures. That's what I think.
Interesting. Seeing some people saying might sell Ewell for Boxic. Some people ditching Ewell, keeping Wilcox.
Boxic could shout.
Ewell to Zola or Boxic as Andy North FPL mode. Selling Wilcox. Ewell equals sale. Wilcox Kite equals bench. So a lot of Ewell sellers. Now I would say I would personally, like you said, he's a good third striker. I feel like players like Boxic could be a better pick personally, just because Chelsea have only hardly conceded goals and Newcastle aren't great at the back, but for me I would be leaning towards sell. But just interested to know. But
yeah, I still think you can pick up decent returns.
Yeah,
regardless of fixtures. Like one Charlton player is all right.
Yeah, fair enough. Danny Shitu, worth a shout out. 4.0, playing every game at the moment. He's on superb morale. So Derby County, a very low owned team, but good morale there.
Chelsea, you missed out Chelsea, I think, didn't you?
I did miss out Chelsea. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's Chelsea for you. Mikel Forsell looks like he's picked up an injury, but just for a few days. And Desai down to OK morale after his red card in the Champions League. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is unhappy. He wants a new contract.
Still good morale.
Yeah, still good morale. Albert Farrell was already unhappy. Just check their condition because they played in Europe. Good Johnson down at 86% there. Zola at 90%. Oscar is not the Oscar we know. That's some random 17-year-old. But that's interesting. Good Johnson may be under threat for the next game potentially. I quite like the Good Johnson.
Yeah. How much is Good Johnson? Was he?
I think he's 10.
10, yeah. Was he 10?
10 or 10.5. 2 goals in 3 starts though, that's good. Melchiot Beast, someone saying, yeah, 98%. I think he only played 60 minutes though in that game.
Yeah, Good Johnson is 10 million. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he could be another like Everson, like another potentially good pick at certain times of the season. Derby County. So condition wise they should all be fine. Chris Riggett there has picked up a little knock. He's got the few days bruised rib as well, so he is probably a 50-50 for the next game. And Ravanelli is not quite ready yet at 47%. Handful of unhappy players there. Brian O'Neill's in quite a few teams because he's cheap. He wants first team football. So that's one to be aware of if you own him. Not too much to report on Derby. I don't know how interested people will be in Derby, to be honest.
No transfers also at all.
No transfers, no.
The big player didn't go to Derby then.
No, it's one player to Sunderland, one player to Spurs. Is that enough of a clue? You've been reading our tweets. Everton, bizarrely, they have quite good morale throughout their squad, even though they're playing terribly. Doesn't look like there's much new interesting things to report there. Should we move on for Everton?
Yeah, horrible team.
Yeah,
really.
Fulham, surprisingly, Luis Boa-Morte is on superb morale after his hat-trick and assist. Martin Corrigan's a new player to the league. He is a good player.
Getting a lot of love as well, Martin Corrigan.
Is he?
Well, from memes and gifs, yeah.
Oh, from memes. Okay, yeah. I did hear, who was saying, I was listening to something, I think, and they said that he's a driving instructor now. apparently.
Yeah, I did see that as well. I saw that.
I can't remember where I heard it, so I can't credit it, but that's pretty great. So Fulham all looking all very happy, and their condition will be fine because they don't play in Europe.
Sean Davis are okay, but
Sean
you wouldn't
Davis,
expect him to
I'm not
start.
sure Sean Davis is actually in the game even, to be honest. I don't know if he made our initial list and he hasn't started yet, so...
Okay, price him up.
Yeah, 4.5.
Go to.
Right, so Ipswich, again, good morale all round there. Matteo Sereni only okay, but I think his place is safe, I would suggest. They played in Europe, so let's have a look at their condition.
Big rotation though, a lot of rotation.
That's true, they did change a lot of their players. Pablo might be in a few teams at 90% there. Jamie Clapham got man of the match, he's at 85. Tarako's well owned, isn't
he? Yeah, 93%. I mean, that could, he probably will start, but that could be early substitute if his condition drops low enough.
Which isn't bad news, to be fair, if you've got a defender and they come off early, potentially.
True.
Why is Sereni unhappy? He's unhappy because of can't adapt to the English lifestyle.
Yeah.
Olivier Dacour, that is a new injury. 3 weeks out with a groin strain, and that was in the European game against Freiburg. And Bowyer is out. He's 90% now, so he could play. 2 weeks with a groin strain, but he could play. So what would you say, Andy? Leeds midfield with no Dacour. Is there anyone that benefits from that?
Is Bakker back?
Bakker is back. Yep.
Bakker is back. That's a headline. I mean, if the core's out, I think it guarantees probably McPhail starting again.
Yeah, that's true.
It depends if they want to go Bakker right mid, maybe, or centre mid, and play Batty and McPhail in the middle.
Yeah, that looks possible. That looks like the most likely, doesn't it? I think
although Mabry's been starting right mid as well, so Mabry could, and Bakker leaves on the bench. I'm not too sure. I think if I was guessing, I'd say that the midfield four would be Kuehl left, and I'd say Mabry would keep his place right, McPhail and Bakker perhaps.
Yeah.
With Batty bench, but
I'm noticing Disable saying that Bakker right wing, Batty central mid. So that's another option. It's going to be one of those two you suggest. Bowyer could play, but bad news if anyone owns Dacour.
He's been playing well as well.
He has been playing very well. Very, very well. Oh, they had Europe, so let's check their condition quickly. That looks pretty good all round, I would have suggested. So I think Robinson's one to watch there. Martin, was that just rotation or is he in? We'll find out. Leicester City. So, all good on condition.
No games for them midweek.
No, and all good on morale as well. New boy JB McAnuff as well, just so you can see his attributes.
Decent player.
Yeah, good dribbling, good pace. Got 10 out of 10 in the last game.
What are Leicester's fixtures like, actually?
Arsenal away, Chelsea home, Newcastle away next 3. I would suggest that is a wait to buy Leicester players.
I'm not going to buy Leicester players.
No. Yes, they have got Swindon away in the League Cup in the middle, which you fancy them for. Right, Liverpool. So just back from their 0-0 against Real Madrid. Interesting one here. Marcus Babbel wanted.
That's often the case, really.
FC Bayern. Now I'm going to add him to my shortlist because then we can see if a bid has gone in. And a bid has gone in on Marcus Babbel. So I would say he's off.
He often goes back to either Dortmund or Bayern.
Yeah. So
and especially with Hagen coming in, it's kind of sealed the deal, really. Last week.
I think Marcus Babbel is going, I would say. So if you own Babbel, he'll play this week because it's literally the match is about to kick off. But Babbel will be going.
Will he play? Because Hagen played last week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he definitely will play. Sorry, I should make that clear. But he is available to play. He didn't play last game. Hagen...
Yeah, guys, just a reminder on the Sunday stream as well, we don't know any of the results. So
Yeah.
for the next
And
game
even
week,
if I did, I wouldn't know if Marcus Babbel played. That wouldn't have been my number one thing to search. But Vegard Hegem can be good on this because you can see he can play attack in mid. So that potentially opens up Hegem as an option. I don't think they've got much else at right back. Carragher can play right back.
hopefully John Welsh comes in.
John Welsh, he's all right in this game, isn't he?
There's a player.
I wonder if that helps. If Carragher does play at right back instead of Hegem, I wonder whether that opens up Risa as a more nailed-on left back option potentially.
Could be, but then does Biscan drop back as well to right back?
Biscan can play right back. Rob Reed's asked the same question. That could mean Biscan at right back potentially. Danny Murphy is unhappy there. I'm just noticing he's unsettled and trying to force his way into the team. And Patrick Berger is now at 90%, and he is a good player on this game if he can get a place in the team. So that's the one to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Condition-wise, quickly, Jamie Redknapp there at 88% is the only one that might be a bit of a question mark. Man United, we'll start with condition as we're there. Again, really the players that you're wanting all look safe. So you don't need to worry about condition at all there.
No, it's all good.
Veron morale, I suspect, is superb. People might be interested in that. Veron's morale is superb. Big headache for Veron owners as well. So Veron's the captain of my zombie team, so I've been disappointed with his start. I've got no choice but to keep him. But I think a lot of people are looking at selling Veron.
People are still scared. Like if you look at the ownership stats, I thought Veron would drop off quite a bit after his disappointing start. But I think people are reluctant to get rid of him, unless people just buying Charlton players for this week, so they had other issues to deal with. But I think Veron, people are just scared that if they come off, they can't get back to him.
Yeah.
And he'll just return loads if they sell him. So I think still people will keep him.
Yeah, Veron is a player who, if you're brave enough to captain him, and he has a great game, and like Van Nistelrooy blanks like he did this week, you could fire up the league quite quickly. As Rob Reed says, Veron will come good. I hope so, but he's absolutely amazing in this game. But he's obviously just for whatever reason he's struggling at the moment.
Rory's just saying, can we click on Biscan condition? I think it's fine, but
Biscan condition was where it was fine. Yeah, it was nothing to worry about there, Rory. No other news to report, Man United, I don't think.
No transfers out or anything like that.
No. Getting close to our transfer, guys. Noel Whelan, injury. He is out for 10 days with a pulled hamstring. And that's 3 goals in 4 games for Noel Whelan. So he would have been an interesting one to take a look at potentially.
I think that's good for people who want to jump on Boxic. I think that makes him more nailed.
Yeah.
Whelan started well, Ricard.
Yeah.
Boxic.
People are asking about Boxic. He's got very good morale. Everyone's morale looks fine. Southgate's dropping a bit low. Nemeth is down low there, so that is an interesting one. Nemeth is one that he was a bit of an interesting pick. Schwarzer and Ocon on international duty. We'll look at condition so you can see Boxic fitness as well. So Boxic, he's up here. He's 100%.
He's fit and ready to go.
He's ready to go, and he's good. 1 goal in his 1 start so far. He's ready to play. He's ready to score some goals, I reckon. Slightly difficult fixtures for Middlesbrough is one thing to be aware of. Do put in the chat, guys, if there's any players in particular you want to look at. Condition-wise at Newcastle, Shola Amiobi is at 77%. Norberto Solano on 89 just there.
I think Solano will still start.
Yeah, you would expect him to, wouldn't you?
I'd be worried about him coming off early.
Yeah, I think I would agree. It's likely to get 60, 70 minutes probably would be my guess. Bellamy got a goal and assist in his last game. So I would say that Shola Amiobi is not going to play, and Bellamy will probably start up front now for Newcastle. Carl Court is at 90%. He will probably come in and be first choice when he's fit, but he is still a month away. Southampton. No one wants any Southampton players, surely. I've got Svensson in my team. He could be okay, but there's really not much to look at with Southampton.
No, it's not at all. I mean, Pahar's a stretch, but
Pahars, yeah. Pahars actually,
even BT's being benched. Like,
yeah.
which is,
I think Pahars is literally and Svensson the only two. So
yeah, Spencer as well.
yeah. So Sunderland. Here we go.
Transfer news.
Da, 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 da.
Brady
Chris Bart
transfers.
Williams.
Oh, Chris Bart Williams. Oh.
This is just a warm up. This is if you think this is exciting, which it is, then Chris Bart Williams is nothing compared to what we got coming. But he has joined the club from Nottingham Forest.
Back in the Premier League, he's been away too long in the Premier League, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I remember
14
him at Forest.
goals. Look at that, 14 goals last season for Chris Bart Williams. Don't expect that again.
Just to mention as well, the price for Chris Bart Williams, he is going to be 5.5 added to the game as a midfielder.
Bye. It's Chris Bart Williams' time. Gary Teal joined the week before. He had a decent debut in a difficult game. They played Spurs and struggled with 10 men, but 8 out of 10 for Gary Teal. I like Gary Teal. He's 6.5.
What about the Schwartz suspension? Is that one game?
Oh, good shout, Schwartz. Still got good morale. One game, so
yeah, next week.
Nothing to panic about too much. Morale looking generally good up there. Kevin Phillips is down at okay. He got subbed early in the last game, so I would suggest I like Kevin Phillips, but he might be someone to jump off of potentially. I don't know if you agree with that, Andy, but
he is quite high price. He's 9.5. It's going to be tough to get Phillips, I think.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'd still keep Parker. I think he can still come good. I know that he's been swapping with Gray between defence and midfield.
Yeah.
But Aston Villa away. See what Arca does there.
I was going to say, with Villa away, I'd be tempted to go one more game, but then they've got Man United, Bolton away, and then Liverpool. So I would be tempted to say one more game.
Against Villa. I still think Sunderland will come good and be mid-table.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, now we do have the big signing, and it is.
Can I mention that FPL Toddler got it right on the chat
he did.
First?
Straight away, didn't he, as well?
Pretty much, yeah. On the tweet we sent out earlier, trying to guess the big name signing.
Let's see.
FPL Toddler got it right.
Straight in as a star player, Stefan Selakovic.
That is big news.
Now this will mean nothing to people who haven't played Championship Manager before, because who is Stefan Selakovic? Because in real life, the highest he got was he played a few games for Sweden and he played for Heerenveen in the Netherlands. But Andy, Stefan Selakovic, tell us about Stefan Selakovic.
Just quality on the game. If you're playing the game, you'd buy him. Try and approach Halmstad and buy him straight away. He's one of those players that can just tear it up. He's good age, quality, can play a lot of positions. Yeah, he's got to be a star, I think, for Tottenham.
Well, in the chat, I'd be interested to know, what do people think? So we're going to make him a midfielder. What do people think his price will be?
Me and Dave were arguing about this earlier. So
yeah, I mean, let's see what people think. So put in the chat, what do you think Stefan Slakovic's price will be? You can see there 10 goals for Halmstad last season. He's primed to go. Who the hell is Selakovic? Exactly. That is exactly the question that I would be asking. But I feel like he could be good. 8.5 Sable. 9 says graphics. 9.5 Nash. Billy Taylor, which is Dougal. 7.5. Brad Lewinder's never heard of him. 8.5. I'm running out of names. 9, 8, 5, 5 and 4.5. 8.5, 7.5, 7.5 please is Alan. Nick, 8.5, 8.5, 7.5, 5.5. Alex is just pushing the 5.5 pretty hard here.
Alex, it's not going to happen. 5.5 isn't going to happen. So
no, definitely not. 8.5/9 says the Panda. Less than Beckham, more than Kewell, says Ian Parrin. So that's interesting.
So Ian's saying about 9 million for that.
So, Andy, what did you want to price him at?
I wanted to get the Spurs assets involved. I was thinking 7.5.
And
Start off.
I was thinking somewhere between 8 and 9 million. So we've landed on 8 million for Selakovic as a midfielder. So again, in the chat, give us a shout. Does Selakovic interest you at 8 million? He hasn't been added in yet, I should add as well. We haven't added him to the database, but I will do it after the stream. In fact, I don't think that you can't tinker with your teams yet for Game Week 5. That's going to be happening late tonight or tomorrow morning. So don't buy him yet. But do you fancy him at 8 million, or is it a wait and see, Stefan Selakovic?
And do you think he plays? I know Spurs last game played the cam formation where they had one. Was it Sheringham or Ferdinand played behind the two strikers? I think it was Ferdinand, wasn't it?
So
Sheringham played. Okay.
yeah.
Do you think Selakovic will go into that role? Sheringham's got role.
I would say he's going to play in one of these positions. I don't think he's going to play up front because they've got Everson, Sheringham,
Rebrov,
and Rebrov, who are all like solid strikers.
Brad Lewin saying Spurs fixtures, and I've looked at them; they're very good. But just want to click on fixtures as well.
Yeah, Planet FPL genuinely could buy this week. Could be good for the stream. Lots of wait and sees. Alan McDardy might wild card for it. Yes, Alan, I love that sort of commitment.
And Chris Park-Williams as well, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Chris Park-Williams is just solid 5.5 behind him. He's an enabler. So yeah, there's the Spurs fixtures. Those four home games in 5.
And Bolton away is not difficult at all. There's lovely fixtures from Spurs.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my neck out as well. I'm going to say that Rebrov and Everson will outscore Shearer in the next 5 fixtures.
Over the next 5 fixtures, okay.
Yeah, next 5 fixtures, yeah.
I think that's a decent shout. So that Man United home is slightly tricky, but apart from that, they've got lovely next 4. So you're putting Everson out there. I mean, if you've got Kevin Phillips...
No one's got Everson. No one's got Everson.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got Kevin Phillips and you bring in Everson or Rebrov, they could really be a brilliant differential because hardly anyone's got Rebrov either.
0.1%. I think one person's got him.
One person has Rebrov. No one has Everson. Someone's asking if we'll get Selakovic. We've got zombie teams, so we're not touching our teams. But I would consider him at 8 million. But I would probably also, I personally am a bit of a wait and see with new players in any game. So I think he'll come into one of these positions though, and I'm sure he will play almost every game because he is so highly rated by the game. Who's most?
I mean, you could see how they line up against Bolton, but I think by then it'd be too late. I think they'll go and beat Bolton easily. So
they could beat Bolton. They're a pretty unpredictable team, but they could do very well against Bolton. You could see 3 or 4 goals there, no problem. I mean, who's going to drop out there? I would say Sherwood. I know quite a lot of people thought Sherwood would play a lot. I didn't really expect Sherwood to play very much at all. He's made 2 starts and 1 sub appearance, but I think after they played so well in attack, I think that Rebrov will come in for Ferdinand, and they'll keep that 3. And I think that Selakovic will come in maybe for Sherwood.
Or maybe for Anderton. Can he play right wing back? Or was that too defensive for Selakovic?
He could do, couldn't he? But I mean, Anderton's an attacking midfielder. He's playing right wing back. He could. That's maybe a good point. Maybe that's a reason to be cautious on Selakovic is if he's playing right wing back. That's a good point. But that would be such a waste. That would be like playing Pele at centre back. Can't do that.
I'd love to see Selakovic in the one behind the strikers.
Yeah, well. I think if he plays there, he'll get 15 goals, no problem. I mean, we're really hyping him up now, aren't we? But,
yeah. Any other news on Tottenham injuries?
Any other news on Tottenham? So Carr and Thatcher. Well, let's do the condition as well in a minute. But they're both at 90%. Rebrov is back.
James is saying that Poyet's back as well. James Planet FPL saying that Poyet is back from suspension.
Good shout. Poyet is back from suspension, yes. And so maybe actually I would guess Poyet and Selakovic in midfield. I think Davis and Sherwood will drop out in that case. I did not think about that.
I think that's 2 attacking though. They can't have 2 attacking in that role.
I mean, this Spurs in this game, they just care about attacking. That's all they care about. I think, they just concede loads and score loads. So, Bunjevcevic, I think I've said that right. He's on 62%. So, probably will not play. I would have said he's coming back from injury. He had some injuries. There's a few injuries which seem to players come back from very slowly condition-wise. So he must have had one of those injuries. So that's the only one there that I can see that really matters. Shwan Jalal is on international duty.
Oh no.
He's not in the game. Slakovic's morale is very low. That's a curveball.
That's a strange one.
Yeah. Maybe he's joined Spurs. Maybe he wanted to win things.
Oh.
And
Maybe he thought, yeah. I
Poyet
don't know.
also low.
Why is that very low?
That's
Has he just
bizarre,
got
isn't it?
homesick all of a sudden? He's living on the hotel, I guess, maybe?
That is.
Hasn't bought a flat yet?
Yeah, that's bizarre. I don't know. That is, for me, a definite wait and see in that case, a very low morale. And
All that hype, we didn't check morale.
I know, yeah. Good job we didn't check the morale straight away. That would have killed all that conversation. We should. Gus Poyet is on low as well, so that's just something to know. Bradley hates Spurs already. He'll become a Spurs legend, is my prediction. So, yeah. West Ham, last one.
Mm-hmm.
ChampManFPL logging off, crying. Sorry, James. I love Spurs actually until Mourinho came. They were one of my favourite teams as a neutral, and unfortunately with Mourinho, it's hard to get behind. But I do love Spurs usually. So Spurs wise, this is West Ham wise. This is something I noticed here. Shaka Hislop transfer request, but would now like to stay at the club. That has all happened in the last few days. So obviously Shaka Hislop has handed in a transfer request, then changed his mind.
Something's been happening behind the scenes again. Glenn Roeder, get him out. Honestly,
yeah,
the unrest of that club is turmoil.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But that's just he's still got good morale, but very good morale. But he's there. Laurent Courtois is finding it hard to adjust the English lifestyle, which doesn't seem to.
Just Luke Disable in the chat saying it's a bug in the game. He's very unlikely to be very low. He probably just hasn't updated yet.
Okay.
So
okay.
for Slakovic,
Unhappy at forcing move from previous club. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Don Hutchison is low. That doesn't really matter, does it? Trevor Sinclair got injured in the last game. He's out for 10 days. Sebastian Schemmel's owned by a very few. He's out for a week, but is at 90%. Interesting one for Shaq Hislop owners as well. David James is at 90%, and you would think when he gets back, I would expect him to take the shirt. Ian Pearce, Middlesbrough and Sunderland sniffing around Ian Pearce, so he could become an option, and he is likely to be leaving West Ham like he usually does.
And that will affect Haas owners at Sunderland, I'd suspect.
If he goes to Sunderland, yeah, but obviously Middlesbrough, that would be Robbie Stockdale, you would suspect.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so that is the club by club complete. If anyone's got any last minute things that they would like to look at, give us a shout. Otherwise, we'll begin to wrap up.
What was team of the week in the
Premier League?
Yeah, just a quick look.
So that's for is that for the week just past 8th? Yeah, that's for last week. So we have got Van der Sar in goal, Martin Corrigan, Mean King at right back, John Harley left back, Matt Elliott, and two guys playing at centre back in team of the week. I think Garth Crooks picked this team of the week by the look of it.
Got to squeeze them in, yeah.
Yeah, Teddy Sheringham and Burley centre mid, Delaney and Joby McAnuff on the wings, then Les Ferdinand and Luis Boamorte up front.
Nice. Brad Lewin just asking what the transfer fee was for Selakovic. I might as well look at Bart Williams as well. Actually, can we just look at transfers for the whole of Europe?
Yeah, we can. So Selakovic was 1.2 million, and I think Bart Williams was exactly the same, and so was Gary Teal. So take your pick. What do you want? Gary Teal, Chris Bart Williams, or Stefan Selakovic for 1.2 million?
Yeah, I know who I want.
Yes.
Mark Kerr news as well.
Mark Kerr, yeah. There is some Mark Kerr news. I'm afraid it's not good. So his transfer to Rangers fell through, and a club has bid, but it is Hibs who have bid. So, yeah. Looks like he may not be coming to the Prem after all. Someone's saying, can you click on Selakovic? I will have a quick look at Selakovic just to see if there's any reason why his morale is very low. But I suspect, like Luke, if Luke said it, I trust Luke, and he said it's because he's happy to stay at the club. Everything's good. He's on £7,750 a week. I think it's one of those things.
That contract minimum clause release, was it?
9 million, yeah.
Yeah.
That could get activated at some point.
Next summer then.
Just having a little quick look through the chat. Is there anything else that people are asking for?
Just click on transfers for the. I'm just interested myself. Just European transfers.
Yes.
Anything.
Someone said about Mark Kerr signing for Brighton. I'm the Brighton manager. He's only on my shortlist so I can watch what's happening with Mark Kerr. So these are all the transfers in Europe. Nothing really to report. Ventala to Parma. Zabina to Lyon. Ariel Ortega is on the verge of a big move. Loads of clubs are interested in him, but no one from the Premier League.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nice. Before we go, I was just going to give a shout out to Sean M1690, who sent us some beers. So
yeah, mate, thanks so much.
Very, very much appreciated.
I was in the garden yesterday, lovely day, and there was sipping on those beers, watching the stream. It was a good afternoon. So
yeah,
cheers
I think
for that,
you had a couple other names on your box. So I only had Sean on my box, but you had a couple of other names on your box. I noticed when you
Late Riser and James from Planet FPL as well, guys. Thanks for chipping in. It's much appreciated. So
cheers, guys. That's very kind. And Tom sent us beer the week before, and it's his birthday today. So let's talk FPL, Tom. Happy birthday, and thanks for those as well. Is there anything else? Flapjack, use the editor and bankrupt Hibbs. I wish I could. I
just
really,
manipulate it completely.
I really want to see Mark Kerr. I feel like there is a Premier League club interested in him, so there's a chance still they come in and get him. You would think that Hibbs is not a very appealing move, so hopefully if they come in time, he moves. Might know that by next game week potentially.
Hibbs are in Europe though, aren't they? So.
Oh yeah, they could be. They could be. That would make sense. Let's have a real quick look at next week's fixtures. So these are all going to be happening Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the real world. But Saturday the 15th of September, we've got Arsenal against Leicester. We've got Villa, Sunderland, Bolton, Tottenham, Man United, Fulham, Southampton, West Ham, Everton, Blackburn, Ipswich, Liverpool, Middlesbrough, Leeds, Newcastle against Derby, and Chelsea against Charlton is the Monday night game. So actually, Chelsea players have got a little while to recover their condition as well.
Missed Sunday, didn't you? Missed Sunday there.
I think I just went through it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah.
So Liverpool players have got an extra day to recover as well from their European travails. So have Leeds, so have Newcastle. So Solano probably will be all right. So yeah, those are Wednesday night 8 o'clock, and James Planet FPL will be streaming. So check that out. We'll be live tweeting if you want to follow it on Twitter and get involved.
Yeah, that's it. Cheers, guys.
All right, should we sign off?
Yeah.
All right.
Sign off.
Thanks,
cheers,
everyone.
guys.
Thanks for all the chat, and we'll see you next Sunday, same time.
Thanks for the love, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
I'm just going to keep saying bye while I log off. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
All the best.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks. All right, guys.
Love to the family. All
Thanks
the blessings.
so much. Cheers, everyone. You've been brilliant.
Say hi to the family.
Right. Yeah. Thanks so much. Bye. End.